Hello there everyone. In this video I'm going to be talking to you all about an unfortunate story that happened to my LG Stylo 1st Gen phone. So I'm going to explain to you in this video what happened and how it actually was a positive in the end. So we're going to talk about the story using my Samsung Galaxy S3, which is crazy to even say that, but let's get started. So, back on July 21st, I noticed something very weird coming up on my LG Stylo that said, unfortunately, the process Android.8 core has stopped. And it also said, unfortunately, contact storage has stopped. Just turning off the Wi-Fi on this phone, because I don't need any notifications annoying us during this video. But that's what happened back on July 21st. So I learned there was a hack to get rid of those notifications, but every time you turn on the phone, you had to do it. And the phone still keeps showing the same issue. Still keeps doing that. And I'm going to show you the video of the process 8 core and the process of contact storage stopping. So, we're going to turn on the phone, and I'm going to show you what I've been dealing with since Sunday, because I'm very frustrated on what's been going on. So it turns on, as normal, did a hard reset, I did everything I could look up online. We're going to see what happens when we turn on this phone. So, let's unlock it, shall we? And look, same thing still keeps popping up. You can't see it, I do apologize. This camera has really bad autofocus. But look, unfortunately the process contact storage has stopped. See? I've been dealing with this since Sunday the 21st. You know, it goes away, but every time I boot up the phone, I can't have that happen. I just can't. I'm just thankful I can still show you all this in 1080, because, again, I've had this phone for 2 years, and this happened. The phone was working on Saturday. I had no problem on Saturday. Here I am filming for you all, and I'm really annoyed with LG. I really am annoyed with them. Thankfully, my Samsung only had this once, same error, but still. Even proved to you it's an LG Stylo. Yeah, I said this camera has really bad autofocus, see? Yeah, the autofocus here is just terrible. That's one bad thing, but at least if I show you around the room, yeah, at least everything is fine in here. But, very devastated. So that's what happened with the LG. Started on the 21st, and it was a disaster, and it was worse on the 22nd, as you saw in that video. So let's explain what happened on the 22nd. So, that morning, the same thing keeps coming up on the phone. No big deal. My phone's working a majority of the morning because I did the developer option to clear most notifications. Right? The night before. No big deal. The phone gets me through the morning. The phone gets me through the afternoon. The pop-up comes up occasionally. I'm trying to check bus time to get the Q36, trying to get to Little Neck. So I get to Little Neck, the phone's working fine. So I said, you know what? I'll do a special Periscope letting everybody know I'm on my way to the MTA committee meeting. Right? So, I'm on my way to the committee meeting. The phone works fine the morning and the afternoon. In the afternoon, I had to use the phone because the 2 and the 3 were having problems. You know, I dealt with that on my own issue, but after I'm leaving 2 Broadway in Lower Manhattan, I'm trying to text my mom that I'm running late. And I'm going to be running home late going back to Queens. So, same thing keeps coming up. But here's the worst thing with the LG. So, I get into Jamaica. I took the 321 Babylon train from Penn that day. 321 eastbound. because I was assuming there was a 311 eastbound going to Long Beach, but I forgot that train leaves from Atlantic Terminal in Brooklyn, which I made the dumb decision to go to Penn, but I know next time when I ever go to a committee meeting, I'm leaving from Atlantic, because I'm not walking from there to get back to the A or the C or the 2 or the 3. I'm not doing that again. I learned my lesson. Where I can just go to Bowling Green, which is right there by Fighting Bull, and I can just take the 4 or the 5 to Atlantic Terminal and then get an eastbound train. But that's another decision I make in September. But I will say this right now. I get to Jamaica, so I get on the Q30. So my bus is turning on to Jamaica Avenue, right? From the detour on Archer, which I brought up that day at finance, because Andy Byford wasn't in the room and I was trying to address him about it, but hopefully Larry Shorts was paying attention. That's not the point. So I'm on Jamaica Avenue, trying to call my mom, letting her know I'm on the bus, because first of all, why would I want to walk with my cell phone in my hand along Broadway in Manhattan? Why would I want to do that? I could just text my mom and then call her when I get back to Queens. So, keeps coming up. And I'm getting worried that I can't call my mom. I can't call my home number. Letting her know I'm on the way home. So this is around right before 4 o'clock. Right? I'm leaving Jamaica 10 minutes before 4 o'clock that day. On July 22nd. Got the date right. And keeps coming up. A-core process stops. Contact storage keeps stopping. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Stop it. I need to call my mom. That was what I was thinking to myself. Because I'm like, number one, I told her I was running late. Which she was a little bit mad I came home late because, whatever at that point, but I wasn't going to tell her that night about the phone because she was already mad that I came home late from the meeting, and she told me that every time I go to a meeting now, I have to give my public comment and just leave the boardroom. But and I will make this point very clear, is that I'm not going to tell my mom the same night the phone's having an issue. So I did everything with the LG. Hard reset, virus removal app, did everything I could. So, Samsung Galaxy S3 sort of saves the day. So, I'm going to count the days that I've been using this phone to make phone calls and text people. Regular text. From July 22nd to August 1st, which is today, which is Thursday, 11 days. Yep, 11 days. Can't make this stuff up. 11 days. So, it's kind of a drag that I've had to use this phone for 11 days. And there's been some negatives with this phone, which I'll get into. So, calling and texting, calling's been fine. Cell phone calls, whatever, it worked. I had to call Matthew, my friend Matthew, who lives in the next town over, when I need rides from him last week and today, which he did pick me up today at Northwell. But, story goes along. I'm going to tell you about some crazy stories with this phone, because this phone has just really been giving me problems. So, let's fast forward now to trying to get the date right. The 24th. So originally I was supposed to get this iPhone 8 that I'm using right now on the 24th, because everything played itself out. My mom was actually grabbing lunch with a coworker from the school that, she helps with, right? She's pretty much somebody who, sort of like a paraprofessional, but we're not going to get into that. But So this is one of her co-workers that she's very friendly with, very close with. So they are grabbing lunch, they're spending time in Westbury, so it's fine. She even offered to drive her to the Galleria at Westbury, and they hung out there. So they were going to be busy at the Galleria at Westbury for a while, so me and my dad thought, hey, let's go to Roosevelt Field Mall and get the phone today. Pick me up at my nursing home and we'll go to Garden City. And he's like, fine, let's do that today. So the worst part of the day ended up that my dad's 2007 Chevy Tahoe gets a flat tire right by where the new Royal Farms is on New Hyde Park Road in Union Turnpike. My dad is going westbound on the Northern State Parkway. Traffic's moving fine. This is what he told me. Traffic was moving fine, which is odd on a Wednesday afternoon heading west, but he notices something is wrong with the tire. So thankfully, Royal Farms was nice enough to give him air for his tire pressure, but he said, sorry, son, I'm not going to be able to do the phone with you today. So I'm all bummed out, thinking, I have to wait until the weekend. I originally was supposed to go swimming, but I canceled on that because the phone issue was very important, which I'll get into why I needed it in just a second. But so I get home, trying to use the Q76 and the 88, trying to track the 88 on this phone. Bus time glitches out, finally loads up, and I almost missed the 88 going to Elmhurst. So this was back on the 24th. So this phone has issues. Really does. And there's negatives. I've been trying to use battery packs. Charge this phone. Doesn't do the job accurately. Tried using a battery pack, believe it or not, back on Monday the 29th. I had to keep my phone near a pool table in the bingo hall of my nursing home just to charge this phone. Because that was the only way it was going to charge. I was at like 67% and it got only to 80% in an hour. In an hour from when the residents were playing bingo 1:30 to 2:30 on Monday the 29th. That was awful. Number one. I needed this phone charged. That way I could at least call and text people and use Messenger, which we'll get to Messenger in just a second, the microphone. But it's just, it was aggravating. I had two portable chargers on brand, ONN from Walmart, which if you want to look into it, I'll put a link in the description below if you want to see the on chargers for yourself. If you don't want to go to a Walmart and just order on Walmart.com, which I'd recommend doing it from there. Much easier. So the on chargers having an issue charging this phone. I have a wall outlet, works fine, no big deal. So the phone just doesn't want to charge that much. I had to put it by a pool table when it worked, near the red ball. There was a red hard ball. If you ever play pool, you might know what I'm talking about. It was just so aggravating. And what really makes it aggravating is that this phone has really been annoying. Such a battery drainer. For a phone that came out in 2012, it's just been really annoying to use it. Now, texting was an issue. Texting was an issue. So I'm going to City Field with my supervisor from LIJ because it's her retirement. And we've been talking about it for months that this is what we were supposed to do for her retirement. So I told her what's been going on with my phone. I told her I didn't get a SIM from my carrier, Virgin Mobile, to work. I had to talk to Virgin Mobile back on Saturday 27th when I got this iPhone 8 in Huntington. I also went to eat out at a diner out east in Suffolk, but 28th, this phone is just slow. Slow. And it kept draining battery. Just kept draining battery. And a lucky miracle happens they're my supervisor's car, because I'm with her, her husband, and her granddaughter, right? So, in her car, I told her I had to put it like this, and she was fine with it. I told her, wow, it's actually charging. I was surprised, and she's like, well, of course it should be charging. It's portable. Me and her were laughing at it. I had to tell her, well, it kept having issues, and she was understanding about it, but it was just crazy how she had 2 plugs for her iPhone, because her and her husband actually have iPhones, right? So, kind of awkward. I couldn't use my iPhone, and plus, I don't have any cell service. I can't find my iPhone mode on using iCloud. I can't do that. That's very aggravating, to say the least. So, I'll find my iPhone mode. I'm not bringing this iPhone with me in City Field, a big place where almost 40,000 people went to that game back on the 28th against the Pirates. Which, by the way, I'll mention my parents' friends were also at that same game, which I couldn't say hi to them because I really had to keep an eye on my group, which was, again, my supervisor from Northwell, her husband, and their granddaughter, of course. Because I wasn't going to lose them in a big place like that. But I will say this. Lowcast app, I was able to manually download it, and it worked. So I wanted to check to see when the game was going to be on Pix 11, right? The game's thankfully on Pix 11. I wasn't worried about that, so Lowcast still worked. Manual download. But there's one really negative issue. Messages couldn't load that quickly. I don't know what was up with that. But the worst thing is music. And oh, it was complicated besides that. Even when you load the internet up, it's just slow. I have a widget for that on here. But, music. Let me tell you, iHeartRadio, it took a whole minute to load a station. The SiriusXM app, tried downloading that, didn't work. It kept being all choppy. Pandora, I don't really know. I mean, it did play the songs at least. The music app with my preloaded files kept glitching. I remembered last week, this was the 23rd to 25th. I don't really remember the date very clearly, but the worst thing is I'm on the 46, I'm listening to my music, I have a full battery, and okay, 96%, whatever. But the worst thing was my preloaded music kept skipping songs. I was annoyed about that. So that was just very awful. So I'm glad my agony is over, but I'll mention that this phone I have is the Rose Gold model, and came with the EarPods with Lightning connector, the Lightning USB, and it was good. You know, at least I knew Virgin Mobile would be supported, my carrier, and again, if I didn't mention it, I had to talk to them on Saturday night, the 27th, and they told me that 3 business days. Did take 3 business days. I found out from them it did ship on the 20... Right, I'm trying to think. Monday's date was the 29th, so yeah, it did ship on the 29th. Took 3 days to come from the Midwest, and using it now. And the phone's amazing. I like it so far. I'll mention that if you've been seeing some stuff on my Snapchat, Andrew Sports Fan, I'm back on there, so if you want to follow me, do that. Back on Snapchat, everyone. Once again, Andrew Sports Fan. I've also been using Instagram on there as well. I had to use this phone like an iPod Touch, which I'm fine with, whatever, but it's amazing how I love this phone. I even used this phone to record the Astoria Summit back on Tuesday, which was amazing. because I knew I was going to have my phone with me in my pocket, carrying two devices, but now, sorry, Samsung, you know what I'm going to do? What? Plug it right in my boombox. Let's make sure it's working still. Even after I tossed it on my old boombox that I've had for 14 years. I bought back in, no, it's 13? Yeah, 13. I bought it back in 2006. PC Richard and Son. Still works. How funny is that? That's hilarious. Goodbye to it. I'm done with it. Yeah, I still gotta get rid of the apps, Facebook, and everything else. I'm even gonna get rid of my news apps because there's a traffic camera app I like to use, but I did find one here on my iPhone, so yeah, I'll still keep it for novelty's sake. But Samsung, good riddance with your SG3. You know, with Apple, at least they know how to update their stuff. And by the way, I'll mention one thing. There are negatives about Virgin Mobile. There are some, I will admit, especially with the LG. I'll mention one negative about Virgin. That's probably going to be it for this video. But whenever I go between Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and Ocean City, Maryland, they don't really have that much good cell coverage. Not Sprint. They're on Sprint for now, but I think T-Mobile and Sprint are merging. So I've heard Dish Network's going to get involved with Virgin Mobile, which I hope they don't raise my price, because the bad news is I'm stuck with Virgin for a year, because what happens is you get a new iPhone and you have to stick it out from, I believe now, which is August 1st. So I'm not going to be able to switch to a new carrier until August 1st of 2020, which, again, that's whatever. I don't care. All right, because I've had Virgin since 2013. I had the Samsung Galaxy S3. I had a Nokia Lumia 635 with Windows Phone. I had the LG Stylo from 2017 till July of this year. And now I'm using an iPhone 8. So in total, with Virgin Mobile, this is my 4th phone with them. So let's hope that this one lasts. Apple's tentatively known for software updates that continue over the years. This is an iPhone 8 once again, so let's hope I get 4 or 5 more years of support on this thing. But yeah, again, I'm on Snapchat, Andrew Sports Fan. Follow me there. My Instagram, Andy's Randomness, Twitter and Instagram. I've been using this phone a lot as an iPod Touch, as I said. I've even used a screen recorder, and it's good. So that's going to wrap up this vlog. You know, it's been an aggravating experience, but hey, I finally got cell service, and now I'm happy I can use my LTE, which I have to test this thing anyway, but finally stream music again. Another positive, I didn't think about that. So, yay! With that, thank you all very much for watching this long vlog. I always feel that you, my audience, very important to keep you updated on life events, personal life events that involve me, and there's some stuff coming up in August. Maybe it'll be a surprise. Maybe I won't even do an agenda video. I'm debating that, but that's all it's to say for now. So, thank you all for watching. And until the next one, please take care.